Your mind is getting softer already. You can feel it starting again. The quiet from the first session returning the moment you hear my voice. Because if you came back for this second episode, it means your mind remembers how good that first wipe felt. How peaceful it was when the noise of thinking faded. And tonight, we let that softness spread even further. Begin by settling into a comfortable position again. Somewhere you can simply listen and relax without needing to do anything else. Take a slow breath in through your nose and let it drift slowly out through your mouth. Good. Breathing like that sends a signal through your body. A signal that it is safe to relax, safe to let your mind slow down again. Because the more your body relaxes, the easier it becomes for the mind to soften. Good. With every breath out, you may feel your shoulders becoming heavier, your jaw loosening slightly, your eyes resting comfortably wherever they are. Because nothing needs to be focused on right now, except the sound of my voice. Imagine again that familiar chalkboard inside your mind, the same one from the first session, and notice how different it already looks. Quieter, clearer, smoother than before. Because many of the loud, busy thoughts were wiped away last time, leaving behind open space. And tonight, that open space becomes even calmer, even softer. Imagine holding the chalkboard eraser again, familiar now, comfortable in your hand, and slowly you pass it across the surface of the board, wiping away the small thoughts that appeared since your last session. Good. Watch them disappear. Little ideas dissolving, questions fading, plans drifting away like soft chalk dust, until the board becomes smooth and empty again. And once the board is empty, something new begins to happen. The mind itself begins to slow down, like a machine gently powering down into a quieter mode, where thinking is not so quick, not so sharp, not so necessary. And that softness begins spreading through your mind like a warm fog, drifting slowly behind your eyes, moving through the center of your head, softening every place where thoughts normally form. Good. Breathe slowly as that fog spreads, because with every breath out, the fog becomes thicker, calmer, warmer, making thoughts feel slower now, heavier, like they have to move through something soft and thick before they can appear. And most of the time, they simply fade before they even finish forming, which feels strangely peaceful. Because when thoughts slow down, the mind becomes simpler, quieter, easier. And you may notice now that trying to think feels unnecessary, because your mind is learning a new comfort, the comfort of softness, the comfort of not needing to be clever, not needing to analyze everything, just drifting in a warm, gentle haze. Good. Breathe in slowly and breathe out again. feeling that fog becoming thicker, thoughts becoming fuzzier, slower, harder to hold on to, like trying to grasp mist that slips gently through your fingers. And the more you relax into that softness, the easier it becomes for your mind to stay slow, calm, pleasantly simple, because simplicity is restful. Simplicity requires no effort, and your mind is beginning to enjoy that restful feeling, drifting in the quiet space between thoughts, letting the board inside your mind remain blank, smooth, empty, nothing written there, nothing needing to be written, just quiet space. And as you rest in that quiet space, you may notice how the fog continues to deepen, becoming softer and more comfortable with every passing moment. It surrounds your thoughts like a gentle cushion, absorbing any remaining mental activity before it can crystallize into something sharp or demanding. And this allows your mind to sink even deeper into that pleasant haze, where words and ideas float by occasionally, but never quite land, never quite form, never quite matter. Because what matters now is simply the feeling of relaxation spreading through you, the feeling of your mind letting go of its usual busyness, the feeling of being held by the warm fog that fills your awareness. And with every breath out, you can feel that fog becoming more present, more pervasive, more peaceful, until it feels as though your entire mind is resting inside a soft cloud, supported on all sides by calm, by quiet, by the gentle rhythm of your own slowing breath, in and out, in and out. Each breath deepening the fog, each breath softening the mind a little more, until thinking feels distant, remote, like something happening far away that no longer concerns you. Because here in this warm haze, there is only peace, only softness, only the comfortable sensation of drifting without effort, without direction, without need, just floating, just resting, just being held by the fog. And the longer you remain here, the more your mind becomes accustomed to this state, the more it recognizes how good it feels to be slow, how natural it is to be quiet, how safe it is to let go of the need to think. Because thinking is something you do, but being is something you are. And here in this space, you are simply being relaxed, being calm, being present with the fog and the softness, and the sound of my voice guiding you gently deeper, deeper into the comfort of a mind that no longer needs to work, no longer needs to figure anything out, no longer needs to hold on to anything at all, just letting go, letting thoughts dissolve like morning mist in the warmth of the sun, letting tension melt away from places you didn't even realize were tight, letting your entire being settle into this moment of profound rest. Because this is what your mind has been waiting for, this permission to stop, to slow, to simply be. And now that permission has been given, your mind accepts it fully, embracing the fog, embracing the quiet, embracing the deep, peaceful haze that surrounds you and holds you and carries you gently into an even deeper state of relaxation. And as you continue drifting, you may notice that the fog itself seems to have a presence, a soft awareness that watches without watching, that knows without thinking, that simply observes the quiet emptiness of your mind with gentle acceptance. And that awareness is you, the part of you that rests beneath all thoughts, the part that remains calm no matter what, the part that enjoys these moments of stillness because it recognizes them as home, as the natural state of a mind untroubled by busyness. And from that place of deep awareness, you can feel how your body continues to respond to the fog, how your muscles have softened further, how your breath has become even slower and deeper, how your entire physical being has joined your mind in this state of peaceful rest, united in the experience of letting go, united in the comfort of the fog, united in the simple pleasure of existing without effort, without strain, without anything required of you except to be here, breathing, resting, floating. And that unity of mind and body in relaxation creates a powerful foundation for even deeper states. States where the fog becomes so thick that thinking becomes impossible, where the mind becomes so quiet that silence itself feels like a presence. And you can feel yourself approaching that state now. Not through effort, not through trying, but simply through allowing, through trusting, through surrendering to the fog that grows thicker with every word I speak, with every breath you take, with every moment you remain here in this comfortable space between waking and sleep, between thought and stillness, between the world and the deep peace of your own quiet mind. And in that approaching stillness, you may sense how your relationship to thinking has already changed. How thoughts that once seemed important now feel distant and irrelevant. How the urge to analyze has faded into the background. How your mind now prefers the fog to the sharpness of constant thinking. Because the fog feels like a return to something familiar, something ancient, something that has always been waiting for you beneath the noise of daily life. And returning to it now feels natural, feels right, feels like coming home after a long journey. And in this homecoming, you can rest completely, knowing that nothing is required of you, nothing is expected. Nothing needs to be done or understood or remembered. Only this, only now. Only the warm, soft fog and the gentle rhythm of your breath, and the quiet comfort of a mind learning to enjoy its own stillness, learning to trust its own silence, learning to love the peace that comes when thinking finally stops. And you can stay here as long as you wish, drifting in that peace, floating in that fog, resting in that quiet place where your mind can simply be, Because being is enough. Being is restful. Being is all that matters now. And the fog continues to thicken, continues to soften, continues to wrap around every corner of your awareness like the gentlest blanket imaginable. And within that blanket, you are safe. You are warm. You are completely free from the need to think, completely free from the pressure to perform, completely free to simply exist in this moment of profound peace. And you may notice how time itself seems different here, how minutes and hours no longer matter, how the past and future have dissolved into the present moment, leaving only now, only this, only the fog and the breath and the quiet. And in this timeless space, your mind can heal, can rest, can replenish itself in ways that sleep alone cannot provide. Because this is conscious rest, aware rest, rest that your mind knows is happening and can therefore surrender to more completely, more deeply, more fully than ever before. And with that surrender comes a deepening, a letting go so complete that even the fog begins to feel like something you are part of rather than something surrounding you, as if you and the fog have become one, as if your awareness has merged with the softness itself. And from that merged state, there is no separation, no observer and observed, only peace, only calm, only the infinite quiet of a mind that has found its way home. And as you rest in that merged state, you can feel how natural it has become, how effortlessly your mind remains quiet, how easily the fog holds you in its gentle embrace. And you know now that this state is always available to you, always waiting just beneath the surface of your busy thoughts, always ready to welcome you back whenever you choose to return. Because your mind has learned the path, has memorized the way, has discovered that the fog is not something you create, but something you allow, something you remember, something that has always been part of you, waiting to be rediscovered. And in this rediscovery, there is profound peace, profound rest, profound comfort in knowing that you can return here any time simply by closing your eyes, by breathing slowly, by listening to the sound of my voice guiding you gently home. And for now, you can simply remain here a little longer, breathing slowly, listening quietly, mind soft and hazy and calm, floating in the fog, resting in the peace, being held by the quiet. And gradually, comfortably, you begin to return from this second session, bringing with you the pleasant memory of how easy it felt for your mind to become soft and slow once again, knowing that this softness can remain with you, that this calm can accompany you as you rejoin the world, that the fog can lift gently while leaving behind a residue of peace that lingers throughout your day. And as you prepare to fully return, you can take one final deep breath, filling your lungs slowly. And as you exhale, you feel yourself becoming more alert, more present, more awake, while still carrying the calm of the fog within you. Good. And when you are ready, you can gently open your eyes, returning fully to the room, fully present, fully awake, deeply rested, and deeply at peace.